Let's talk about the 2025 movies I've seen so far in a tier list. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a good one today. I'm the movie ranker, and today we're going to discuss all the 2025 movies I've seen so far. We're a quarter through the year, basically, reaching the end of March here, so figured I would do a little tier list with the movies I've seen, and perhaps I can do this halfway through the year and three quarters in the year and keep adding to the list. We'll find out. I think that's a good idea if you ask me, so I've seen 11 movies so far. Not that many, but enough to do a list like this. I'm always so caught up on watching franchises and that to rank, right? So I don't always have time to watch 2025 releases. But, it's still early in the year too, so a lot that I want to see hasn't come out yet. Make sure you let me know your favorites of the year so far, your least favorites. Let me know down in the comment section. If you want to do a tier list yourself, be free to. I'd love to see it. But we're going to get right into this with mine. And I'm just going to do these in the order that they're in. The first movie is The Gorge. Now, this was an Apple TV film, I believe. Pretty good streaming movie, those are very hit and miss, but I really did enjoy this one. I went in not knowing anything, and basically without giving anything away, it's about this gorge, and on each side of the gorge is a soldier, and their job is to just stay there and keep guard, make sure nothing goes in or comes out of that gorge. And one side's the west and the other side's the east. The world's split in two and they each have a side. So all that's super interesting. The characters don't even know what they're getting themselves into. So you're following the characters in this mystery right with them, right? And I love this type of film because it's a genre blender. It's an action at times. It's sci-fi. It's romantic comedy at times. There's some rom-com stuff in there. It's a little bit of everything, even some thrills and a little bit of horror at times. So I love movies that can blend genres like this and be entertaining from start to finish. So this was a real surprise. Great cast as well. It's basically just Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy for most of the film, and they really have great chemistry together, and they don't bore you with their presence on screen. That's for sure. They do a great job. And we got Sigourney Weaver in here too, as I don't want to get too much into her character, but she plays a smaller role in here, which was really cool to see her. Ripley. So The Gorge for a streaming movie, I thought this was great. I'm going to put it in B. I think it's a solid B movie. Up next, we got Borderline. Now, I didn't know anything about this film either going in. Most movies nowadays, I try to go in completely blind. I don't watch trailers or nothing, right? And I just seen that Samara Weaving and Ray Nicholson were both in this film, so I was like, I gotta check it out. And they're definitely the standouts in this film. They're definitely the biggest positives I could give. This is like a home invasion type movie, a little bit stalking type movie. Ray Nicholson's character, he breaks out of a mental institution and he goes after Samara Weaving's character, who is a pop star, and he's in love with her, and he believes, he's like delusional and believes they're going to get married and everything. So he sets up this big plan to go in, capture, marry her and everything. And those parts of the movie are great. Like I said, the acting is superb, but I feel like a lot of the movie, it keeps shifting towards the main character's bodyguard instead of dealing with her, and we're dealing with like his family, and it's like a whole side plot going on, which kind of takes away from the main event, if you know what I mean. You just want to see Ray Nicholson just go crazy, just like his father would. And when he's on screen, he's great. Like I said, those moments in the house are awesome, but there's just not enough of them. It keeps jumping around. It's kind of a messy storyline, but the central theme of the movie, the central story is great. That's what I came here to see, and you do get that. And our villain here, he has a sidekick. She broke out of the institution as well. I think her name is Penny, and she is pretty crazy. She has this whole scene with Samara Weaving's character where she forces her to sing Celine Dion with her and play piano, and it's just so out there, but it's hilarious at the same time, and I just love that. I wish there was just more scenes like that. I don't mind the comedy and the thrills. Both of them were great, but like I said, the story was just jumping all around and didn't deal with our central characters enough. And the whole ending is really weird and it's not what I was expecting. I wish it would have went into a slightly different direction, but at the end of the day, this wasn't as good as what I was hoping it to be. The acting is there. That's what I came here for. So that's awesome, but the story could have been better. I like what they were going for. They just didn't nail it 100%. So I'm going to give this a C. Could have been better though, but I was entertained by it. Moving on to Heart Eyes. Now, Heart Eyes is an interesting film. It's part slasher whodunit, part rom com. And it's not blended together very well, I don't feel. There's a whole section like the starting of the movie, you get the slasher elements and this big kill and everything, the setup, but then it goes into rom-com territory and just becomes a romantic comedy for at least a half hour to 40 minutes with no slashing going on or anything. So it's just like they're not meshing these genres very well, you know. It feels very forced going from one to the other, just my opinion. But the rom-com side of things are handled well. It's just not my type of movie. But it was interesting mixing it with a slasher here. But the slasher side of the film is great. The detective side of the movie is great. Pretty gruesome kills here. Pretty good mystery on who's the killer because it's a whodunit, right? So yeah, I thought the killer, the villain, was really cool too. His look was different. I like where they're in the dark, his eyes like light up, and he kind of has like in the dark vision, but it's red, it's not green. So yeah, kind of a cool killer. Be interesting to see a franchise out of this. I don't know if we'll ever get it, but an interesting first film. It kind of teeters in between B and C, but it's more for B, so I'm going to put it in the B category. Definitely check it out if you're in the slashers. Just be warned that it kind of jumps from romantic comedy to slasher quite often. The comedy's really good in this too. There's two detectives in here, Devon Sawa and the chick from Fast and Furious, Dom's sister. They're both in here, and their names are Hobbs and Shaw. Hobbs and Shaw, which is kind of funny, especially with her being in the Fast and Furious franchise. So there's like little jokes in here that are pretty funny, I found. So yeah, it deserves a B, I feel. Up next, we got the movie Last Breath. This is the last movie I watched before making this list. Watched it last night. It's a true story, and I'm always interested in checking those out. I feel like it makes the story more impactful. Stars Woody Harrelson, Simu Liu, I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, and Finn Cole. And all three of those actors, great. Just perfection in what they were going for with this role, these roles. And the movie's about these people doing maintenance on these pipes under the ocean, at the bottom of the ocean, oil pipes or whatever, and they're doing maintenance on them. Very dangerous job. You're under a lot of pressure of water and everything, right? And our characters go down. There's accident that happens, and one of the divers ends up down there with very little oxygen. He runs out of oxygen at one point, while there's a big storm going on as well. So the ship up above has a hard time to maneuver, and it takes them a while to rescue him. And that's what the movie's about. Pretty straightforward story. It's pretty short, which is nice, only like an hour and a half or so. So it kind of flies by. Like I said, good performances. And apparently this follows the true story to a T, basically. So it is a true story. It's not so much based on a true story. And yeah, that's what kind of sells it for me. If it was just a regular movie about this that wasn't real, it probably wouldn't have been as impactful. But even then, I feel like there's moments where I should have been on the edge of my seat when they're like really trying their best to rescue this guy and having a hard time, where I didn't feel that. I didn't feel the urgency as much as I should have. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like they were going to change what happens just for cinema, right? So I don't fault them for that. It's an okay film. It's not as good as movies like 13 Lives, which just came out a couple years ago, which was a great survivor type story based on a true story as well. So it's not the best based on a true story movie, but since it takes place in the water, in the ocean, that's always kind of my thing. Love maritime, like researching about maritime disaster or anything like that. So it was definitely interesting to me. So I'm going to put it in C, but I felt like it could have been more impactful. Um, if you don't know anything about this movie, go in blind, because I feel like if you do all the research on what happened, the movie's going to be super predictable, right? You don't want that. If you don't know nothing about this incident, go in blind and do your research after, because it's very close to it. And it's just crazy to think that someone could survive not without having that much oxygen for that long. It's just a crazy story. Felt like it could have hit a little harder, but it is what it is. It's going in C. It's still good enough. Up next is another brand new film, Mickey 17. And again, went in not knowing nothing and was pleasantly surprised. Like, wow, what a great movie. Robert Pattinson, man, the last so many years, he's just been killing it. Killing it. Definitely got rid of his Twilight reputation by now. He's a great Batman. He's great in this. The Lighthouse, he was great. So, yeah, he definitely cleaned his record, and he is an actor to look out for nowadays. And he does a great job in here. It's about him signing up for a program where he's basically expendable, and they're using him um, basically to test things out, like to test out poisonous gases or to go on a planet without his mask to see what happens. Because if he dies, they just print out another version of him and they have like his memory stored so he doesn't lose that. Very interesting, and that's why it's Mickey 17. This is the 17th version of him. And it makes for an interesting storyline regarding that. And then in the second half, they go more sci-fi with these aliens on a planet and them dealing with them. Without getting into any spoilers, I thought it was really well done, the story. Engaging from start to finish. Great acting for the most part. My biggest problem I have with this is Mark Ruffalo's character. He's like one of the villains. And he's like this leader, like the head over these people. And yeah, he is a dick. Like, that's what his character was going for, but the acting is just so bad. Mark Ruffalo, I don't know how he ever became an actor, because I never seen him in anything where he amazed me or anything. I mean, he plays the Hulk okay for what they're going for there, but I never seen him act in anything real good after that. So, yeah, don't understand why he's an A-lister actor, if you even want to call him that. But, yeah, he's terrible in here, I find. He goes for this weird impression. He's, like, changing his voice a bit and stuff, and he just comes off stupid. It's super cheesy, and it just didn't work for me at all. But everything else in this flick is pretty damn awesome. Great humor in it. Great, like, sci-fi elements, great story, great characters, and everything else. It's just that one character I despise, and the acting just takes me out of it. Tony Collette's okay, though. That's his counterpart, like his partner or whatever. So it is what it is. If you didn't see Mickey 17, go check it out. It's still in theaters in a lot of places. It's an A for me right now. Might go up, might go down on rewatch, but I thoroughly enjoyed it and didn't expect to enjoy it this much. Up next is the movie Companion. Now, how do you talk about this movie without spoiling anything? It's kind of almost impossible. Let me just tell you, if you don't know nothing about this movie, keep it that way and just go watch it. I went in, again, completely blind and was blown away. One of the best movies. This movie here beats out everything I seen last year. I'm telling you right now. It's so good. Like 20 minutes in, you figure the movie's going in one direction and it completely flips itself. And you're like, what? Completely tricks you. And then once you think you know what's going on, tricks you again. And it does this every about 20 minutes to a half hour. So it keeps you on your toes. It's super interesting. Starts off about a relationship that seems like it's not going so well. And they're going to a cabin at their friend's place. And there's a group of them there. And I really can't tell you anything else. Just know that it's one you definitely have to check out. It's definitely one I don't even want to talk about. It has Sophie Thatcher, who's great. It has Jack Quaid. He's in a couple movies on this list. And the acting's all great. It just really throws you for a loop. And I was hooked from start to finish as soon as the first reveal happened. I just couldn't keep my eyes off the screen right to the end, and I think it's a brilliant movie. It's going in S tier. Like I said, maybe later in the year, or maybe I can do another video where I go into spoilers, but I really don't want to ruin anything. I just think that this movie has a great message about like I said, toxic relationships and controlling relationships, how one partner could control the other. You see that a lot in relationships. And yeah, it just has so much to say, and it does it in a really unique way. And there's other movies that tackled this plot line before, this subject matter, and it never came close to being this good, in my opinion. So for now, it's in S tier, and one of the best movies I've seen in a while. That's a newer film, at least. Up next is Novacane, starring Jack Quaid. Once again, he's in so much lately. But yeah, he knows how to pick good roles, because every movie he's in is usually fun, and this one's no different. If you don't know what it's about a guy who is like an assistant bank manager or something. Irrelevant, but he can't feel pain, so he it makes for an interesting movie anyway, because these bank robbers come in, kidnap a girl, steal the money, and he goes after the girl to rescue her, and he has no fighting skills whatsoever, but he can't feel pain, right? So what's the worst that could happen? And he ends up in so many funny situations where he's like fighting people who actually know what they're doing, and they're just like breaking him apart and really hurting him, but he doesn't feel nothing, right? And they're like, what the hell? This guy can take a lot. And there's so many funny scenarios that he ends up in. One being like a torture scene where this guy like can't wait to torture him, but he doesn't know that he can't feel pain, so it just makes for a hilarious scene. The action's really good. It gets gory at times, as you can probably imagine. And yeah, I just really wasn't expecting the amount of gore that they went for here in some of the action scenes. Like, you see bones, you see a lot of crazy stuff, and I love that, especially being a horror fan myself. So I think the movie was really fast paced, had great action. There's a reveal twist, like a quarter, third of the way through the movie, I didn't see coming at all, and I was like, oh, that was awesome. Always like when they can catch you off guard with those. And yeah, it was just a really fun time. So if you didn't see this one and you were kind of wondering about it, definitely go check it out. I heard people say it's too basic, but I don't know what else they wanted from this type of movie. If you like movies like Crank or like wilder type action movies that really go for it, check this one out. You probably won't be disappointed. I think it deserves to be in the B tier category for now. And yeah, it's just a really fun time. Oh boy, coming up next is Captain America Brave New World. Back with the MCU. Now, not a terrible movie, not garbage or anything. I think it could have been much worse. They're going in the right direction. It's like a political thriller, in the vein of like Civil War or Winter Soldier, but it definitely doesn't come close to the quality of those films in regards to the story anyway. I think that's where this one fails. The story's a bit jumbled. It's a bit of a mess. I feel like the first part of the movie is really good and the ending's really good, but the middle is kind of a chore to get through. And it just feels like they take the long way to get to the point. um, and for starters, I just don't think that they should have made the Falcon the new Captain America. It's okay for him to have the shield or whatever, for it to be passed down to him, but I feel like they should have just called this like the Falcon Brave New World or something like that, right? Because it's like he's not Captain America, and they try to explain it in the movie and try to make it make sense that it's passed on to him, but I just feel like it should have ended with Steve Rogers, and he could have just taken up the shield, right? Because I don't know. It just doesn't sit well with me. I don't know why. He just doesn't feel like Captain America to me, and this movie didn't win me over in that regard. So that's kind of unfortunate. I feel like the main reason for that is because if they didn't call this Captain America, less people would have seen it if it was called the Falcon, right? That's what I feel anyway, just personal thing. I feel like they really cheated people by showing the trailer with like the Hulk in it and the poster with Hulk in it, and he might be in like 10 minutes of the movie, and all the scenes in the trailer, mostly all the scenes in the movie where the Hulk's in it, so it's like they kind of cheated people, making you think that this was equally maybe a Hulk movie too. I don't know if everybody feels that way, but I kind of felt cheated a bit and tricked a bit. And I like Harrison Ford. I think he does a good job as Ross. He's probably the best actor in the movie, but I would have preferred the original Ross to be here, right? You're trying to make this also a sequel to The Incredible Hulk. it's just weird seeing a different actor play him. That's just a pet peeve of mine, though. But yeah, I feel like this movie tried to do too much in a way, trying to be a sequel to Captain America, trying to be a sequel to the Falcon TV series, trying to be a sequel to the Incredible Hulk, and a bit of Eternals in there as well. It's still not where the MCU should be. It's not an F bomb. I don't think it's a garbage movie. I'm going to put it in D though because I was disappointed after watching it. It's like a mixed bag for me. It's like a 5 out of 10. The action was okay, but it felt like there wasn't a lot of it. The story was kind of a mess, and yeah, it could have been better. Could have been worse, that's for sure. It's definitely not the worst MCU film. But yeah, it could have been so much better, guys. Coming up next, we got the movie Cleaner, starring Daisy Ridley. And yeah, this is not a good movie. I'll tell you right now. It's a ripoff of Die Hard, like 100%. It's this big building. These activists, really terrorists, come in. And yeah, this girl has to stop it. She's cleaning the windows outside. Biggest problem I have with this movie is it takes almost the whole movie before the girl cleaning actually like finally gets in to take on these bad guys. It's not like Die Hard where McClane's like going through the vents and slowly taking them out. No, it's nothing like that. It's just you waiting and waiting and waiting for something to happen, waiting for this girl who's our main hero to do some hero things. She's ex-military and everything, so you're waiting for it, but it just takes forever to get there. And once we do get there, the action isn't all that great. Forgettable characters all around, and it just feels like a waste of time. Like, it's trying so hard to be something like Die Hard, following that Die Hard formula, but just failing miserably. My God, this was such a disappointment. To me, this is an F movie. I guess there had to be an F movie on my tier list, and this is a good one to put there because it's bad. If I had to give it a rating, it's somewhere between like a 3 and a 4 out of 10 or something. It's down there. Just boring. And there's nothing worse than being boring, especially in an action movie. Like, come on. You didn't have to try that hard, and you didn't try at all, it feels like. So you're going down in F territory. Up next, we got The Monkey, a movie I was really looking forward to watching. Finally got a chance to, and again, was pretty disappointed. I mean, the only thing this movie gives you on a positive note is the kills. And that's what I was expecting. It's like Final Destination, but being less interesting, I suppose, in its story. Because it's not death coming after you or anything. It's just this monkey that randomly kills people because that's life. That's how life works. It's random. And that's basically the message of the movie. And yeah, I was digging more of the first half, but as soon as we get in the second half, it just failed me. The first half we deal with these kids who are twins, and they had this monkey they found in their dad's closet, and they don't know much about it. Obviously, it starts killing random people around them, and then the movie shifts in the second half to where they're adults, and that's where it completely lost me. Like I said, the kills are still good. They're still gruesome. You get like exploding bodies, gunshots, the whole 9 yards in here. Hornets, kind of a cool wasp or hornet scene, whatever it is. But yeah, there's only the kills here. The kills and the effects are pretty cool. Everything else is kind of forgettable. At the end of the day, there's basically no story here. It's very little. This was a short story by Stephen King, and it should have stayed a short story, because you really feel the runtime on this one. And there's this whole twist involving the twins near the end that was just really stupid. Didn't care for it. I thought it was a dumb villain at the end of the day. It was just dumb. So yeah, this one was highly disappointing. I hope there would be more, but it's just the bare bones. You're only here for the kills. Even slasher movies, I love slashers, and they're basically just the kills. I felt like those movies have more than this, so it just left me feeling like I wanted more, and it just didn't give me it. So it's a D, not necessarily an F. I think the kills kind of hold it up a bit, but not by much. So is what it is. Should have stayed a short story. And lastly, the last movie I'm talking about today is Wolfman. I talked about this in my Lee Winnell ranking. It's definitely a disappointing film. The worst from Lee Winnell. It's unfortunate, and the biggest problem here is definitely the story. Once again, in the second half, it just goes in autopilot mode, becomes super predictable. You barely get any advancement in plot from the middle to the end, and it just plays out as you expect it to be. You know, most movies have werewolf transformation scenes in like one scene. This is like half of the movie, and they rely on that like the whole time to tell their story. There is some interesting things here, like the dad trying to protect his kids, try to protect his kid and his wife from harm, but he's turning into this creature, so he's battling that. That's interesting, and how his father was overprotective, which drove him away. But those themes aren't really examined or really looked into all that deep. The acting's okay, the cinematography is great, and the directing's great, but the story really leaves you wanting more once again, especially from Lee Winnell. I was like, pretty disappointing. Not the dumpster fire a lot of people are making this out to be. Some people said this is complete garbage. I don't think it's that bad. I think it just stumbles in the second half. It's a D for me, once again. Some interesting ideas here for sure, like you seeing him slowly become a werewolf, and like his vision changes and the way he hears changes. We don't see that too often in these type of films. But yeah, it was lackluster at the end of the day, despite its cool effects, makeup, and directing. Story is real important to me, and when you're just sitting there kind of waiting for things to play out till it just ends the way you thought it was, it's disappointing. So that's enough of that. That's where Wolfman sits. So there you have it, guys. I put something in every category. Seen 11 films so far in 3 months. Hopefully, next time I return in the mid-year, I'll have even more than 11 movies, but who knows? It's hard to say. I'm trying to avoid movies I think are going to be bad. These are all ones I kind of had an interest in, or I took a chance on, like Cleaner. I knew nothing about it. I just took a chance on. But everything else here, I had a definite interest in checking out. Definitely didn't go on my way to watch like that Popeye movie or the Peter Pan horror movie that they just came out with, which looks garbage. So I try to avoid movies that don't look good because I only have so much time, guys, and I don't want to waste it. So like I said, there's my list. Drop your favorites of the year and worst of the year down in the comments. Do a tier list like this if you prefer. I'd love to see it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel so you miss out on anything in the future. Follow me on Letterboxd and Instagram. Links to those are always in the description of my videos, guys. That's it for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, thanks for watching.